Hello. I think I'm live. Let me see. Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Welcome. Okay. Ooh, man. I feel like the energy lately has just been such a whirlwind. I am just getting my bearings a little bit. So, welcome. Um, this week, I'm probably going to be talking a little bit about the energies of the eclipse, which, not that I'm an astrologer or an expert in this, I just am going to talk about what I've been feeling and what I've been noticing and feeling into around that energy. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about some insights that I had from teaching the birth story breakthrough, which has been pretty amazing. We've already had a lot of breakthroughs, so that's pretty fun. As most of you know, yesterday, June 10th, was the solar eclipse in Gemini. Um, and the energy for me was really intense, and I feel like I'm actually still kind of like recovering from that, I guess you could say. And if you are watching, please say hi and let me know that you're here, so that I can tune into your energy and say hello to you. Hi, Valeria. How are you? I'm so glad you saw my video. Valeria and I were talking about how, for some reason, some people are not seeing my videos on Facebook. And I did a post earlier to make sure your notifications are on. And there's also a little setting that you can click on in the group that says show all posts from the group or something. And that can be helpful too. So hi, Andrea. So I feel like I'm still kind of recovering from the eclipse energies that were happening. So for me, I felt this energy very intensely. It felt like a deep feeling of new beginnings and transitions. And for me personally, what that felt like is it felt like there was basically like a new life that I'm stepping into. And you guys can please tell me if you relate to this. That's kind of been happening for a little while, but this eclipse like solidified it. And what that looked like for me on a personal level was really releasing some deep patterning that had been going on for a really long time. And then also just stepping into this new level in my business, but also with my husband, because he is working for me. I don't want to say he's working for me. I don't like saying that. We're working together. Um, and there's a new energy in our relationship and our life in general because of this new dynamic that we have. So that felt like it was really solidified during this eclipse that, like, okay, like this is what we're doing now. So that was really cool. And then also, I really was able to release some deep seated patterning that I know that I took on from my mother. And I want to talk about this a little bit because this actually came up in the birth story breakthrough that I'm teaching right now. And if you don't know what birth story is or you haven't explored it yet, I highly recommend doing so. And when you work with me, that's something we'll always do. But working through your birth story and looking at it really can be the missing puzzle piece for a lot of people, because the energy around your birth and the circumstances end up playing out in your life in a lot of different ways, and they end up showing up for you in a lot of different ways. But a lot of times when you start something new, or you take on a new project, or you get a new job, new relationship, new anything, right? That energy will surface for you, and you will play it out until you get conscious about it and release it. So when I was teaching that last night, and just in my own process, I had this really deep awareness that pretty much 99% of what we're carrying, right? So the beliefs that we have about ourselves and what we're capable of, the thought patterns that we engage in on a daily basis that we might not even be aware of, the blocks that come up in our businesses or relationships or whatever. 99.9% of those energies are not ours. And what I mean by that is that it's something you took on, right? It's something you took on from your mother or father, who took it on from their mother or father, who took it on from their mother and father, and so on and so forth. So what's happening right now on the planet is that we are shifting all of that. And if you are watching this, most likely you have come here to play a significant role, an important role in shifting that as well. So that's why so many of us are coming up against these blocks, is because we're actually being shown the belief systems and the ancestral patterning and the generational trauma that has been passed down through generations, so that we can clear it and shift it, and we can create a new way of living. And that's really what's happening on like a bigger level right now, a grander scale. So, and you know, I knew this, right? But there was this thing that happened the other day where, you know, I think many of you have heard me share when I was younger, when I first discovered breath work, I was struggling really badly with an eating disorder. And I know this is something that a lot of people can relate to, because I don't think there's any woman out there who doesn't struggle with like body image or issues with food or whatever, because it's kind of been programmed into our culture. And if you engage with the media or the programming of society in any way, it's hard not to have an issue, because we're basically programmed that like if you don't look a certain way that's pretty much impossible to look, then you're not good enough or there's something wrong with you. But at the same time, we're programmed to believe that beauty doesn't matter, right? It's kind of a mind fuck. Andrea and I were just talking about this. So anyway, so, you know, this is something that I have been healing and working through with myself for a long time. And the other day when I was journaling, I asked my guides, I said, can you please show me how to shift this for good? And what they said to me was, it's not yours. And like, I knew that, but like there was something that happened in that moment when they said that to me that I was like, oh, it's not mine. I'm like, this is not mine. This was actually something that I took on from my mother, who probably took it on from her mother or her father or whoever, right? So I think this is a really important piece right now, in realizing that like 99% of the stuff that we're carrying is not ours. It's ancestral trauma, it's family programming, it's societal programming, it's patterns of relating that we took on through modeling, through watching our parents. So this is kind of liberating in a lot of ways, because once you realize that like all of this stuff that you've been trying to clear and release and work through is not even yours, it brings a certain amount of levity to it, where you can be like, oh, like this actually isn't even mine. And it makes it easier to separate yourself from it, because what ends up happening is, you know, like when we are going along and we are starting our businesses and we're showing up as the powerful magic people that we are, we end up like hitting these roadblocks, right? And like questioning ourselves or comparing ourselves to other people or feeling less than or whatever. And then you like beat yourself up even more, because you're like, oh my God, I'm still doing this. I'm still here. Like, what's going on? I suck, you know? But really, when you can like realize like, wait, this actually isn't even me. These thoughts and feelings and these blocks that are coming up are not even mine. It's just something that I'm carrying. And when you can like make that realization and have that levity, meaning like you can step out of it and see it from a place of being the observer, then it's like, oh, this is not me. This doesn't mean anything about who I am as a person. All it means is that I'm carrying this thing from that's been passed down to me that's not mine, and I can release it right here and right now. I can say no, that this is not mine, and I'm not going to continue allowing this program to run. So when we are able to like see that for what it is and have that understanding, then it's like, oh, like it makes it so much easier. And obviously we use the tools that we have to move through it, right? Like the breath work, which of course, if you work with me, you know that's the main tool that I use that everyone gets really powerful results from. And whatever other tools work for you, right? The Akashic Records, energy work, whatever it is, and really intentionally choosing out of that and intentionally engaging with the world in a completely different way. But realizing that a lot of this stuff is not yours is really, really important. And that's what I was being shown over and over again. And it came through really strong last night when I was teaching the second night of the Birth Story Breakthrough, which is all about clearing these energies, right, that we took on at birth. Because one of the things I shared last night, which is really powerful, is when I was pregnant with my son, I was doing a breathwork session and I had a memory I was shown a vision. I don't know if it was a memory or a vision. I don't think it really matters. But hi, Jessie. Andrea says, yes, women are run such an impossible con. So true. But anyway, so back to what I was saying. So I had this vision or, memory, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really matter. I was shown myself that as I was coming through my mother's womb, I actually took on all of her trauma in an effort to heal her, right? And she had some pretty significant trauma. Most of our moms did, right? Like, let's be real. So whatever it was. So I was actually shown that that's what happened. And then my guides were showing me that this is actually very common, right? That when, especially as healers and empaths and psychics who came here with a specific mission to shift the frequency on the planet to heal planet Earth, our automatic inclination is to heal. So when you come through and you come through somebody, your mother, and you see that they are holding on to this deep trauma, all you want to do is heal it. And the way that you know how to heal it at that time is just to take it on. So this is something that a lot of us have done from birth and then continue to do throughout our lives, which is taking on other people's trauma in an effort to heal them. And that is actually not the way, that is a way, but it is definitely not the most efficient way or most helpful way or the way to help people for your highest good or the highest good of the planet, right? So what we end up doing is having to completely shift the paradigm where we realize in order to help people heal, we don't have to take on the burden or take on the responsibility of what they're carrying. We just have to hold space for them to heal it on their own. And I think that this is a really big paradigm shift, and it comes up for everybody when they're starting their business, because it will be one of those blocks the client attraction. Because when you're like, you know that you're here to serve, you know that you have this mission to help people, but then you're like, well, on an energetic level, you're like, well, I don't have any room to take on the responsibility or take on that burden of anybody else. I'm already doing it for my mom and all my siblings and my friends and everybody around me. But once you can have the awareness that you're doing that, and you can create really solid boundaries, do the energetic work to raise your self-worth and learn that just by you being you and holding the space for people, they heal in your presence, then that completely shifts the way you're able to work with people. And then you can feel safe and comfortable to call in a shit ton of clients. right? So let me know if that's making sense or if you have questions about that. So the way this all relates back to the birth story is a lot of us have been doing that since we actually came in, since we came through the womb. And that's why I shared that story about myself and that memory I had of coming through, because I was shown that that's actually like a common thing. It wasn't just me that did that. So yeah, so I think that's really important to share, and it's really important to look at these things as you are moving forward, especially right now, because with the energy of this eclipse, there's an opportunity to start something completely new and completely different. Are you guys feeling that? Like, do you feel like you've completely shifted around this eclipse and you're starting something completely new, or it's like a whole new chapter? Because I am definitely feeling that energy really strongly. Like, even like my guides have been like I'll like try to go back into like an old thought pattern or like a fear or something, and my guides are like, oh no, remember, like, we're not doing that anymore. And it's kind of hilarious because it's almost like a joke now. Like, it's like, no, that's over now. We are definitely not doing that. So, and then I'm sure many of you have heard me share this already, but I have been shown that around these eclipses as well, I was going to access a new galactic guide, or I was going to have access to more intergalactic knowledge. And what's come through is these galactic access codes, which if you've been following me, you've heard me talk about. And I've been sharing them with everybody who is in my space. But I am going to be doing a one-day event in July where I'm going to share the galactic access codes with everybody. And what that is it's just a new frequency. It is a new frequency of information to awaken your intergalactic portal and create like this antenna for you to have deeper access to intergalactic knowledge. So that's coming soon, and that's one of the things that has opened up for me during the eclipse. So I'd love to hear what's opened up for you guys, or if you're feeling this energy as well, or if you have any questions about anything I shared about the childhood stuff and the trauma, because I'm shown things a lot of times in visuals, and then when I try to explain them, I'm like, is this making sense? So I'd love to know if that makes sense for you. Okay, let me check the comments. Ashton says, I've been thinking about this with my kids. It doesn't make me feel good. Oh, are you talking about how they like take on your trauma? So, okay, I'm glad that you brought this up, because this is really important for those of us who do have kids. And even if you don't have kids, this is important to know. So, like, a lot of times what I see, and this is like basically with almost everybody I work with that is a parent, they'll be like, oh my God, I'm totally fucking up my kids. Like, this is horrible. Now I'm just like thinking of all the ways that I'm fucking up my kids. And I just want to like completely put your mind at ease right now, because first of all, like, your kids chose you as a parent for very specific reasons, for soul contracts that you had, for lessons that they wanted to learn in this lifetime. So like, whatever is happening, you are learning and growing together, and you can't like fuck them up, right? Like, whatever happens is something that was contracted to happen for the two of you to grow and learn together, you and your kids. And I get it, because I do this myself, where I try to like stop certain things from happening with my kids, or I try to like mediate when like my son and my husband are going back and forth with each other. And like, yes, of course, like, we want to protect our kids and we want to do the best for them. And I guarantee you, if you are here listening to this, you are doing the best that you can for your kids. But there's also these ways where like kids are souls, conscious beings that came here to have certain experiences in this lifetime, and they are having a lot of those experiences through you and because of you. So the human experience is not meant to just be like all rainbows and butterflies. Like, of course, we want to nurture our kids and we want to give them the best lives possible, and we want to create the best circumstances possible for them to flourish, and we want to nurture their gifts and all of these things. And at the same time, there's also these ways that we can't like stop certain things from happening. And it's okay for us to see, for our kids to see, you know, us argue with our spouse, or it's okay if we get angry, you know, like sometimes I will, like, before I know it, I'm acting like my mom, right? And then I have to like take a step back and like I'll say to my son, especially, I'll be like, I got really mad and I didn't mean to do that. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean for that to happen, you know? And like, just in the ways that you're modeling like awareness and you're modeling consciousness, that's everything. Because trust me, like, what you're modeling is so much more important than what you're saying to your kids. And I know this from just the knowing that I have, but also my 10 plus years as a school counselor. Like, I know exactly the effect that parents have on their kids because I've seen it all. I've seen it so much. And Valeria knows this because she used to work with me. That what you're modeling and the consciousness that you have is the most important thing, because we're always gonna like fuck up and shit happens, you know? But what you're modeling for them around being conscious and also putting attention and weight into your own personal growth is the best possible thing that you can do for your kids. If your kids see that personal growth and transformation and being the best version of yourself and raising your consciousness is important to you, then it'll be important to them regardless of what you say. So Valeria said, Elise, I'm doing it. I don't know what are you doing? Oh, are you okay? Maybe we'll talk about that offline. So anyway, so I hope that's helpful around the parenting stuff. Let me know if that was helpful for you. And like, you know, the other thing too, when it comes to like what I was talking about with kids taking on stuff from their parents, is the other thing that's really important is also modeling what healthy boundaries look like. Because again, kids are not going to do what we say, they're going to do what we do. So if we can model healthy boundaries for them and say like, and this is all energetic, right? This is not anything that you say. But through the work that you do on yourself, and as you clear your own trauma, and as you raise your sense of self-worth, and as you start to step into a fuller version of yourself, what naturally happens is that you create really solid boundaries, energetic boundaries, where it's no longer a question of where your energy stops and another person starts. So when you do that, and this is why I say it's so important to model personal growth for your children, is because as you do that, your boundaries get really, really clear. And then when that happens, kids don't feel like they have to take on anything from you because you have a solid container for yourself. You know how to manage your energy. So kids don't feel responsible because you have really clear boundaries and you're like, no, I got this. You do you on an energetic level. So let me know if that makes sense. Okay, so stay tuned for Galactic Access Codes. I'm going to be announcing that probably at the end of the month. Next week, I'm going to be out of town on a little family vacation, so I'm probably not going to be doing a video next Friday, most likely not. But I'll be back the following week, and I'll probably be announcing the Galactic Access Code event then. But if you are interested in that, or you are interested in talking about working with me more deeply, if you're ready for deep, powerful, wild transformation, and you're ready to step into the fullest and most powerful version of you, not that you aren't already are, but you just want to take it to the next level and break through any glass ceilings or patterns that are coming up, then just reach out to me. And we can talk about that. So that's about all I have for today. But like I said, I'll be checking back in throughout the week, and I'll be back next week with another energy forecast. And of course, you'll be hearing from our other amazing experts in the group. Oh, and if you didn't check out the video that I did yesterday with Emma and her amazing sacred portrait work, you have to check that out. I'm kind of obsessed with it. It's unbelievable. Emma, so my client Emma, she had the great realization, or what I like to call great remembrance, that the thing that she's meant to do here on this planet is to channel your spirit guides and draw very realistic portraits of them that you can then take and have like this energetic portal to your spirit guides. And it's so freaking powerful. And I'm kind of obsessed with it, which is why I keep talking about it. But we did a video yesterday, so definitely check that out, and check out, she has the information below about how you can get your spirit guide drawing. So definitely check that out. Hold on, I'm just going to check the comments really quick. Jessie says, yes, big shifts, actually. Birthing pains for the last 2 weeks. Oh, wow. Wow. That's exciting. And I know how that feels. Hi, Emily. Like pregnancy pains. Oh, like just like, does it just feel like pregnancy pains? That's really interesting. And this is really interesting. So I was talking about this with another client, because I've had some clients that when they move through their birth story, or even when they move through like a really big energetic shift in general, sometimes they will get pains like in the area that you would if you were giving birth. And this has happened to me actually when I've shifted some really big like root chakra stuff, like when I quit my job and all of that stuff. I had some really deep openings and like painful but like releasing openings like in my root chakra, so that could be related to it too, Jessie. Emily says wowie wow. Okay, cool. So that is about all that I have for today. So definitely reach out to me if you have any questions. Stay tuned for Galactic Access codes, and I will talk to everybody soon. Have an amazing weekend, and I'm sending you so much love.